Aloha YouTube, this is Kai Turner Gaming, here to bring you another video about bots. Now, let's be honest, bots are one of the coolest new additions to Halo that is completely under the radar. Have you ever seen a game like this where you have a 3-4-3 player in your game or a 3-4-3 player in your opponent's side, and then it gets replaced with a real player? I mean, pretty amazing, right? The only problem with this is that most times when they have these bots to join and replace other players in matches, it's only in casual playlists, like say right now Fiesta or different other game modes that aren't as ranked as other modes. You know what I mean? Obviously. And this is probably one of the best ways that they can implement bots to actually help the community. Because let's be honest, how many times have you been in a Slayer match, or a objective especially, and you're in a 3v4 scenario or a 2v4 scenario, and you're like, man, there's no way we're going to win this, right? And bronze and silver aside, for most levels above gold and higher, if you're outnumbered in terms of 3v4 or 2v4, it's no way that your team is gonna win. Like, I'm not gonna say impossible, but let's be honest. Unless you summon the spirit of Pistola, you're not gonna win that game. Because of that, it makes it so that the balance is already thrown off, and you basically essentially either lose or you disconnect just like them. And that just wastes your time. So it's a waste of time regardless of what you do. I mean, you can still get the 50 points for finishing the match if you care about XP that much. But essentially, it's a loss in your record. Your stats are going to go down. Your rank is going to go down. And it's not a good experience for anybody, really, because nobody, like, even when I'm dominating a team, like say I have, crazy, I'm slaying that game, or I'm going crazy with the objective, it doesn't feel good when I'm completely dominating the other team and then it's 199 to 2. It doesn't feel good on being on either side of that field, right? You don't feel good when you're the team getting dominated, and you don't feel good when you're the team dominating. Because it's too easy, right? It's too easy if you're dominating, and it's impossible if you're getting dominated. So the way that they treat the bots for, I'd say, the social playlist, I think that they should really implement that into the ranked playlist, because it would truly help for all of these scenarios where rank is really on the line, and even just having a meat shield on your team would be better, right? I've even devised like a way that they could do in terms of, like, since they have different levels of bots, right? So let's say for the beginners, right? The recruit bot or the basic bot, that could be for the bronze and the silver players. The next up, I think it's Marine. The Marine bot could be for the gold and the platinum tier. And the ODST bot could be for the, well, we already said plat, but let's say the diamond. This is just for diamond, right? Okay, let's just do diamond. And then obviously ODS, the Spartans for everything above that, right? And while they are not the same equivalents of a player, like obviously you'd much prefer an Onyx player over a Spartan bot, right? They will help the fact that you will have at least a chance of winning that game, right? Because I mean, they'll try to capture objectives, they'll try to go for the power weapons, they'll try to, like, play the game. And at the very least, they're a meat shield so that you can essentially distract your opponents with the bots. You know what I mean? You have a fourth player at least, or you have a fourth player, or a third and a fourth player. So it would really help the gameplay in terms of just being more stable and being better at, like, you being able to navigate the different play styles of different people. Because essentially, let's be honest, in most objective types, just having that fourth player means a lot. You know what I mean? Like, capture the flag, there's no way that you can win in capture the flag without that fourth player. Because overall, you're going for the objective, and they're going for the slays, and then there's a player that fills each objective. And when you don't have that fourth player, you're not going to be able to, to obviously get that. So I just want to share my thoughts on this. want to keep it nice and short. I don't want to, bog it down with a lot of stuff. But I have a lot more thoughts on this, honestly. Like this bot implementation could be one of the coolest things that they've done probably in like recent Halo history. Because think about it, even back in the Halo 3 days, people disconnected all the time, or they betray their friends, or all types of stuff like that. Now imagine if that in that same scenario, like as soon as the person gets disconnected for whatever reason, right? I'm not saying it's for connection or whatever, that immediately a bot jumps in, right? A bot is on your team. So it says, just like it said there, where it says like player left and then player joined back in. It's pretty seamless, just like this transition. If you look in the corner, you see how it says left and joined at the same time, because 343, we can talk about them, bad all we want and say, oh well, they did this, and of course the microtransactions, they've done a lot of bad. Let's keep it 100, right? But one thing that they do well is things like that. Like bot implementation is perfect. The way that they put them in the game, you probably couldn't have done it better. It's so seamless that you don't even realize that an actual player has been swapped out with a bot. And here's another one, right? You just seen how fast it happened. Like in this game, in specific, we were dominating. As you can see, I had like 28 kills or something, 22 kills or something, and it's not fun for my opponents at this point. So they're dropping out, and since it's a casual playlist, they can, just hop in hop out whenever they want. There's no points on the line, so there's no reason not to stay in if you feel like you're not, progressing in this game. The real reason why they should put this in ranked is because of the exact same reason. The same way that they don't feel pressured to stay in this game because there's no points on the line. In ranked, well, there is points on the line. So why not have an option so that you don't have to be a guaranteed loss? I do like that their new ranking system has a lot of a lot more chances for a player to gain points or to stay the same even if they lose. Like I've lost games, but if I'm like player to game by far, I have like most kills and I got most objectives and everything. Like I don't either I don't lose points or I lose a little bit of points for that game versus like previous past games where even if you did that, you would still, lose a big chunk of progress because, well, you lost, your team lost. I do like that they have improved on that front, but in overall, it's like you got to be able to have a balance between, rewarding players for staying in and also giving them a chance to win the game. I mean, that's a whole issue about matchmaking in itself, like how balanced it is in terms of which players they choose to put on your team versus which players they choose to put on other teams. And, you got hidden CSR and things like that where your rank might be completely different than what it shows on the screen. Oftentimes, I'm in a category where, like, you see this game is completely different than the first game you've seen. Obviously, I'm the same player. Like, I just have sometimes where I'm really hot and other games I'm really not hot. So even though my rank might be platinum, they might put me up against, like, diamond and onyx players a lot. And then that's not really fair because I'm not at that skill. So then I get bopped in this, and then my team is gonna be like, well, why are you in this game? Like you're you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, why did they pair us with you? Like, you're not that good, And it would be amazing if we could have something like that. You see how they just, left and joined, where we have an option to not get let's say bopped in that case. So if 343 is listening, and I'm gonna say 99.9994% chance that they're not, but put the bots into ranked playlists as well, because their implementation and casual playlist is it's beyond perfect. It's so smooth that you really don't even notice that in the real game. Like, in this game in specific, you've seen bots been switched out with actual players probably like 6 times already. And it's so seamless that they just hop in the game once somebody hops out the game. So you just don't even notice anything change in the gameplay. And I'm like, that continuation and that smoothness of gameplay is the reason why bots work in Halo anyway. And they spent a lot of time, money, and energy into developing these bots. And I think that they did an amazing job on it. It's a great training tool for, I would say, new players or beginners or players that are, you know, wanting to like test out things, because you know maybe you're very experienced player, you just want to test out like weapon range, weapon gun, things like that, effectiveness and things like that. So yeah, it's great for all players, but especially in like actual gameplay, we have a lot of, you know, flexibility on where and how these bots can be used. And I really think that they're doing a good job at putting them in casual playlists, and they should just throw them bad boys in ranked playlists. As I said before, I'm not going to bog you guys too much. I think I said all the main points I wanted to say. As always, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you really liked it, remember to subscribe to the channel. Comment below any like Halo videos that you have in mind that you want to see, and I'll do my best to try to get it done. And as always, peace.